Okay, this is going to be the book of Proverbs. And I like to tell you how Christ is typified in each book. In Proverbs, Christ is typified as our wisdom. See 1 Corinthians 1:30 for that. He's made our wisdom. And this book has 31 chapters, 915 verses, and 15,043 words, or around that. I didn't count them. I took somebody's word for it on that. The theme is wisdom is the principal thing. It's the chief thing. Proverbs 4:7. Wisdom is the principal thing. With all thy getting, get wisdom. Solomon is the author, and you know what he did? He prayed for wisdom and understanding about how to lead the people. So historically, you got Solomon, the author, writing to his son Rehoboam. That's the historical application. Solomon writing to his son Rehoboam. See Proverbs 1:8, which says, My son, hear the instruction of thy father, and forsake not the law of thy mother. So historically, Solomon writing to his son Rehoboam, who obviously doesn't like to give heed to good counsel, because he forsook the good counsel of the old men. Devotionally, you got wisdom for all things that we face. It can be found in this book. Everything you face, you can find some wisdom to deal with it. Doctrinally, what do we find doctrinally? You got writings from God to Israel about the Antichrist, see Proverbs 23, and the great whore, both of which will be in the tribulation during the time of Jacob's trouble. And the great whore, or the strange woman you see in Proverbs in 2:16, 5:3, 5:20, 6:24, 7:5, 20:16, 23:27, and 27:13. The strange woman pictures the great whore. Author, as I said, King Solomon. He was the author of chapters 1 through 29. Then you got Agur here, chapter 30, and Lemuel, chapter 31 is the author for those. The last two chapters have a different author. And, okay, let's give you a breakdown. So, the Proverbs, it's not like, 1 Kings, where I can say, well, chapter 1, it's about this person, chapter 2 about that person. Proverbs is like a collection of statements and stuff that Solomon made. So, it's kind of hard to give you a real breakdown about each chapter. So what I did was I just took something about a wise man, what a wise man will do, from each chapter, and I try to apply that to my life. So the breakdown, a wise man. Chapter 1 and verse 5, a wise man will hear. A wise man will hear. He's going to hear and increase learning. If you'll spend less time talking and more time listening, you'll hear and you'll increase learning. Chapter 9 and verse 8, a wise man takes a rebuke. You can learn from a rebuke better than you can a compliment from somebody or them trying to flatter you. It's better off to just take a rebuke and improve something about yourself. 9:9, a wise man will take instruction. Take instructions from somebody else. Don't feel like you already know everything. 10:1, a wise man makes proud parents. 10:5, a wise man goes to work. Able-bodied men need to go to work. Now, there's some men that aren't able-bodied, and I completely understand why they can't go. I'm talking about able-bodied men. 10:8, a wise man lives by commandments. And while we don't have to keep commandments like keeping the Sabbath, there's all kinds of other commandments that we need to keep. And then 10:14, a wise man lays up knowledge. If you're not consistently laying up knowledge, then you're consistently forgetting something. So you need to be consistently laying up knowledge, or you're just getting dumber. 10:19, a wise man refrains his lips. And you're going to notice a lot of a wise man's ways is watching his mouth. A wise man in 11:29 will be served by the fool. He's going to end up your slave. 11:30, a wise man wins souls. He that winneth souls is wise. 12:15, a wise man hearkens to counsel, which Rehoboam did not, and he ended up dividing the kingdom. 12:18, a wise man has tongue control. You're going to have to control that tongue in your mouth. 13:20, a wise man hangs out with other wise men. Just because Jesus ate with publicans and sinners doesn't mean you need to go hang out at the bars and the clubs and playing cards with lost men all the time. You need to hang out with other wise men. A wise man in 14:3 is preserved by his lips. His mouth doesn't get him in trouble. 14:16, a wise man fears God and departs from evil. 14:35, a wise man obtains favor of kings, or in your case, your supervisor, even if it's a lost supervisor. You know, God will make even your enemies to be at peace with you. God will make it like, Joseph under Pharaoh, where he obtained favor under Pharaoh. 15:24, a wise man considers hell. Think about hell. Think about people that are going to hell, and you need to tell them. You need to warn them. A wise man in 16:14 uses words to pacify wrath, not to make it worse. 17:10, a wise man learns from reproof. He doesn't pout about it. He doesn't talk back to it. A wise man will learn from reproof. 7:28, a wise man holds his peace. Keeps that mouth shut most times. 18:15, a wise man constantly learning, laying up knowledge. 20 and verse 1, a wise man abstains from booze. Dump the alcohol. 28:7, a wise man keeps the law. We're not saved by keeping the law. But, thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not steal. Most of it you still keep today. We're just not saved by it. But those are some ways that Solomon says you're a wise man if you'll do these things. And that's not all of them. That's just some of my favorite ones. And I try to live by those. I don't always, but we need to strive to be perfect as much as we can. But that's outline of the book of Proverbs.